So let's try this. Good MoMonday Halifax. Darn, you guys are good. Didn't even have to train you. I like it.
That's a universal sign, folks. What's that sign for? She's got a headache, right? And I say, oh, you seem to have a headache. And she said, yeah, I have a headache. I said, I have something that'll take your headache away. She said, no, it'll go away on its own. And I said, no, I have something that'll actually help. I dug in my pocket and I held up one of these. And she said, what is that? I said, it's a red foam clown nose. I said, if you put this on, it'll take your headache away. And she said, are you kidding? And I said, actually, I am. That's the whole point. Joke, kid, laugh, whatever it takes to get those, the science going. I actually didn't explain the science to her. I just said, try it on. And she said, I can't put one of these on. I have to look responsible. I said, oh, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pick up an en route magazine. I just disclosed the airline. Pick up an en route magazine. I'll hold the magazine up and you put it on, okay? And she said, well, all right.
My greenhouse was 30 feet wide by 90 foot long. And when you walked into it, it was like walking into a jungle just full of these amazing smelling, beautiful plants, the humidity. It was fabulous. So I walked into my greenhouse, picked up a tray of tomato seedlings, and was just thinking about where I was going to plant them in the field, when there was this incredible rushing sound. And one minute I was in my greenhouse, and the next minute I was standing in the middle of a field. And slowly the tomatoes in my tray flew away, one after the other, after the other. And the same wind that was carrying those tomatoes away had lifted up the entire greenhouse, turned it upside down, and then dumped it on top of our other greenhouse, crushing it.
You kind of kill yourself in the corporate world, just going. And I find myself losing track again of who I am and where I wanted to be. It paid the bills. We were kind of digging ourselves out of a hole from Ottawa, and I just find you constantly digging yourself out of a hole. The way I would describe it would be, pretend your body is a shock absorber on a car, and you're driving down the road and you just never know when you're going to hit a pothole or a bump or what it's going to feel like. That's life. And that is what my life has been like for the last 10 years. After a while, you get used to hitting the bumps. You get used to dealing with them, and you get used to the fact that that's going to happen all your life, and you're going to hit these road bumps, and sometimes the shocks are going to give out on you, and you're going to have to replace them or fix them or whatever.
On my bathroom tiles, I remembered something that Stephen Covey had said one time. Neither of us wrote it, and I'm sure both of us wish we had. Stephen Covey said in leadership, when you get to the top of your ladder of success, make sure it's leaning on the right building. I was at the top of my ladder of success. The problem was, I wasn't on the right building. Anybody ever felt like that? And as much as that was an epiphany, it scared the daylights out of me. Because all of a sudden I thought, well, that's great, but if you're not meant to do this, what are you meant to do? And for a tiny sliver of a moment, it was rather exhilarating to think that I might, just maybe, be able to do something totally different.
And to open up that hostel in 5 days. Now, obviously, you chuckle because that was unrealistic. It ended up taking us 3 months to open up the hostel. So, we did it, but I've got a few stories I want to tell you, though, along our journey of opening up the hostel. About June 25th, I think it was, about 2 months into doing the renovations, and all of a sudden the phone rings. We hadn't heard that happen before because we weren't open, so this ring... Hello, Halifax Backpackers. First time I'd said that, right? There was a woman on the other end of the phone. Her name was Sally. Sally was from England. Sally and her friend Sally Ann had seen our website and called to say, we'd like to come stay with you. I was excited the first time the phone had rung. So we said, sure, Sally, when would you like to come? And she said, we're coming in 2 days. So, oh, Sally, I'm so disappointed. We'd love to have you stay with us. We haven't had any guests yet. We're a bit behind schedule when it comes to our renovations, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to house you. But luckily, there's another hostel in town. Gave them the number. She called the other hostel. Everything was great. Well, 5 minutes later, the phone rang again. Ring. Halifax Backpackers. Guess I get used to saying that, right? And it was Sally on the phone again. She said, I called the other hostel, and you guys seemed much friendlier, and we really want to come stay with you. Okay. What are we going to do?
Well, to witness something I should never have witnessed. And no, it wasn't Mommy kissing Santa Claus. What I saw was a horror. I saw my younger brother get killed by a car. Luckily, the innocence of childhood blocked that memory from my life. I can't remember the instantaneous moment, but it changed things. And it sparked something in my family, not necessarily a good thing. For her, my wife, at 3, she learned what divorce was. Her mother said to her father, I don't want the kids, I don't want you, I just want the money. And she walked away. Forced her father to be challenged, but he took his kids and he did what had to be done. Luckily, they met a great woman that she now calls her mom. So things were looking off and going great for us. As for me, grew up, things are great. And when I turned 16, unfortunately, the rift that happened with my brother dying, culminated in my parents separating. So I experienced divorce as well.
First stroke exquisitely, that was his word, exquisitely targeted the speech center of your left brain. I could not speak, I could not write, I could not read. Well, obviously I recovered. And I'm still trying to figure out, and the doctors are still trying to figure out what happened to me, what caused my stroke. We don't know. But here's what I think. Here is what I think caused my stroke. Stress, 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 stress. The last 5 years of my life were so stressed out. And you know what? I thought I could handle it all. I was Superwoman.
And I think that, folks, brings it to a close. Thank you so much for coming out, and make every day a Mo Monday. Thank you.